talk about the arrival of the giant spheres. And in particular, let's talk about the Seeker. What was the Seeker and when did this happen?
Well, this information I had heard a little bit about, but David had heard this from one of his sources as well, that during the 80s, this very large, I guess this was a metallic type sphere, came into our solar system and started, flying around the planets, doing, looky-loos around each of the planets. And our secret space program confronted them. They stated that they were just on a cruise, basically, an exploration cruise. And the secret space program, the human secret space program, told them to leave the solar system immediately, and they did.
They said they were doing a drive-by.
Yeah.
Interesting. And we said you're not welcome. Well, was it because we were afraid, right? Was that part of it that we didn't want to...
Well, by the 80s, we'd already a protocol had already been developed. Beacons were put outside our solar system, basically transmitting protocols that when you fly into our solar system, you have to stop within this certain quadrant, send a friend or foe signal, then be given air traffic control information, basically.
Interesting. And then later on, weren't more spheres arriving and positioning themselves throughout the solar system, and they were kind of, almost just appearing and disappearing?
Yeah, they were coming in clusters. They started arriving from the outer solar system and basically portaling in through the sun. And as they would come into our solar system, they would immediately cloak, go transparent. And the secret space program, or the people in the military industrial complex programs, were excited because they thought, all right, this is the return of the Sumerian gods, and they were excited. But these spheres, after they went transparent, they also refused to answer the hails of any of the humans trying to make contact with them. So, they knew that something wasn't right at that point.
Is this, and when we say sphere, and of course we have the sphere being alliance, and then we have the spheres that have appeared in your living room, are we talking about the same not the same thing, but the same technology? Are we talking about the same thing?
Well, the spheres that have been coming in, they're energetic. They are not a manufactured
solid
sphere or ship.
Right. Metallic.
Yes, and the blue orbs that I see that come in the room, they are the exact same being. They're beings. They're the exact same thing as these giant spheres flying in space. They're indistinguishable.
Now, okay. Now, is that sphere tech the same thing that I've witnessed, even with you when we were in Joshua Tree, when we saw those spheres in the sky? Is that the same tech? Or
it's not technology. It's an actual. These are actual beings. These giant spheres are actual higher density beings.
Right, and so that's what I'm trying to suggest here. When you and I were together at Joshua Tree, we had a large group of people together, and you and David had walked up to us, and we were having our sightings in the sky at that moment. You didn't really react. You know what I mean? You were just like, yeah. And I thought that that you, let's do that. But your reaction to me was like, yeah. Was that because you knew exactly what was going on?
Well, I mean, I've seen that kind of thing so much. It's hard to feign excitement, I tell everybody, if you hang out with me, eventually you're going to see some weird stuff.
Right.
And I've had people, see UFOs with me plenty of times.
It was a pretty extraordinary evening. That evening, and of course the evening before, and we spent a lot of time talking about it. But do you think that the appearance that was going on over at Joshua Tree that you witnessed and everybody else, do you think it's because we were there?
Yes, yes. A group together of that with that consciousness vibration is going to attract attention for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we talk about this benevolent situation that is out there in the stars right now, and also on this planet. And of course, we talked about Greer earlier and his take on this. When you talk about the interstellar conflicts and those rebellions and or wars that are going on, who is fighting, and why do we get involved?
Well, we've gotten involved the same way that other beings have gotten involved with the Draco. There's one group that works alongside the Draco, just like our Dark Fleet does, and it is postulated that they're a conquered race, like we are supposedly, and they're about 8 foot tall. They've got blonde hair. A lot of people call them Nordics, except they got 6 fingers. Some of them have reptilian-looking eyes because they're hybrids between the two, between reptilians and this 6-fingered Nordic group.
Right.
And and they basically were serving alongside the reptilians for conquest, for the same reasons that the Dark Fleet people were.
Karen just tweeted she was there that night with you and I at our little group. And she goes, how do you expect Corey to get excited about a little UFO after 20 years in the SSP?
Yeah.
Dumb me. She's exactly right. How much of our local star system that we keep talking about, or this cluster, does the Draco control today?
Not very much. It sounds like they're down to 2 star systems, including our own. But at different points, their control over the local 51 or 2 stars has ebbed, and it kind of comes and goes. Their power comes and goes. They get chased out of different star systems. They have to come back and reassert their control. I mean, that's what's been going on for eons.
Why did the Draco live here? Why did they keep coming back? Our solar system and Earth.
Well,
I mean, it's a nice place to live. I get that too as well. But is there another reason?
Yeah, there's a group of them that communicated that Earth was really theirs, that they had their genetic experiment going on here, that these different races came in, and basically 65 million years ago, if that's a big ringer of a time frame for you,
right?
And wiped out the life that was here on Earth, which was the reptilians' genetic experiment. And this new group decided to do this human experiment in the place of the reptilian experiment. And they claimed that because what happened here on Earth and some other planets in our local star cluster, where they had similar dinosaur type, I guess, things going on, that they had 3 lost races that they were upset about. But I guess short answer long, they're here because they feel like they originated here or they have some sort of claim here.
And also along the same lines, we keep talking about, the 900 different groups that are trading in our star cluster. And of course, the Dracos are part of that. But how many of those 900 know about Earth and know what's going on here? Or do any of them know about us?
That's unclear to me. A lot of these groups are amoral anyway. A lot of them have agreements when they're traveling through this cosmic web between stars that when they arrive at a star system, while they're waiting to portal, to another star system, that they do not interfere in local what's going on locally in that star system, that they do their business and go.
Okay, we're going to be heading towards a break here, and I knew we were going to run out of time. We still have time left, but there's a lot left to discuss. So
There's never enough time.
Yeah, there's never enough time, man. We try. We do our best. Is this? I'm gonna bang out a bunch of quick questions. After you started hanging out in a couple of forums, Avalon and Tot, you decided to come forward. Why did you decide instead of staying in the background?
Well, to be honest, I had planned to just provide information to researchers and stay anonymous. I had a job being a VMware cloud engineer where I was getting paid very good money, and I didn't want to rock that boat. Unfortunately, a certain researcher decided to go ahead and out my name anyway, and when that occurred, I really had no choice at that point.
How is your wife dealing with this today, and has she witnessed anything?
Yeah, there's been a few things that she's seen. I try to let my family speak for themselves. I don't want to, force them into a narrative, without them, entering it with their own free will. But she's had a lot of issues, a lot of depression, a lot of it has not been easy for her, and so it's been rough in certain ways for sure.
Go wake her up, get her out of bed, get her on the show.
No,
nah, you're not going to do that, not yet. And what about your kids? I talk to you a lot on the phone. I know that you're a family guy. You've always got your kids hanging out with you. I feel like I've met them indirectly a few times. How are they dealing with this, or do they know? Do they know much?
Yeah, well, my son, not so much. He's only 5 at the moment, but my daughter's 13. She has a good idea of a lot of what's been going on around here, for sure. But I started telling them less and less when I started seeing them reacting to the information that, they were kind of freaked out, or my daughter was kind of freaked out in the beginning. She was having some weird experiences, and, she had to acclimate to the information.
Let's before we hit this break, let's get a couple of critical questions out of the way. What is the outer barrier?
The outer barrier is actually one of these giant blue sphere beings that set itself up. It basically encompasses our entire solar system, and it is preventing human and non-human groups from leaving or coming into the solar system until we've gone through whatever this event is going to be.
Which we're going to get to this in a second, but that also includes the Draco.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to get to that in a second. Is there life on Proxima B?
There is life in Proxima B, Proxima Centauri, and they are in our local star cluster. And most of the stars that are similar to ours have civilizations on them.
Do we communicate? Who is on Proxima B?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, now we're going to head to a break, and I want to set up what we're going to discuss next. Who is Gonzalez?
Gonzalez has actually gone by several different names. He's a person I met for the first time when this Mayan type group had assisted me. And he sort of kind of became like a liaison between me and the secret space program. And he led me to believe that he was Air Force, but he is actually was as a lieutenant commander in the Navy. So, yeah, he's an interesting character. I've had kind of a love-hate relationship with him at times.
When was the last time you spoke to him?
The The last time I spoke to him was probably 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, and he is still in the SSP.
No,
he is not.
No, he's not. He's no longer able to return to the work he was doing previously with the secret space program.
And why is that?
He basically got the Secret Space Program Alliance is a group of people that have broken away, are no longer working directly with the program they're assigned to, and they're doing it surreptitiously. And he got outed through an interrogation of me, and he was no longer able to return and do what he was doing before.
At one point, was he your commanding officer? Did he have?
I guess you could equate it more like a handler. I guess,
right?
Since I was not in the military, I was a civilian asset.
Because you had been exposed to him back in 2013, and then you were off planet, and you bumped into him again and recognized him. Did you guys? What was that? What was that like?
Well, I recognized him when I was brought up to the LOC to meet with this SSP alliance, and I wasn't given a whole lot of information about what was going to occur at this meeting. And he was the one that greeted me, was saying, "You need to stand there. You need to come over here." And I recognized him from a previous encounter I had with this Mayan type breakaway group that he was working with, and that he's working with now.
Everybody wants to know, and we're going to hit a break right here. Everybody wants to know, I know you've been asked this before, is Gonzalez Cobra?
No. No.
How many times have you been asked that question?
I've seen it online, but that's the first time I've been actually asked a question.
Okay, so officially, Cobra is not Gonzalez, so we can put that one to bed. Let's take a break.
Absolutely not.
Okay, there you go. Let's take a break right here. When we come